He who sows the wind shall reap the storm. The Dark One opened up Lesnitsky's thoughts to me. I know all their plans. The war has already started. It won't stop while there's a person alive in Metro. All trying to stop it could just as well try and stop a tornado with their bare hands. But I still have to try.
In the year of 2013, there was a war that engulfed the world in atomic flame. World War III ended civilization as we knew it in a quick blink, and most people were reduced to photographs of a dead age. Merely shadows on the pavement, dust in the air. Although none quite truly understand how this happened, or how anyone could ever survive such a mass destruction, they did. In the year of 2033, where the Metro series begins, the few survivors of the Great War, their children and grandchildren have found refuge in the underground tunnels of Moscow. People lived and people died, life as cyclical as ever just before the war. But this hideaway did not guarantee one's safety from harm. Resources are scarce, illness is growing, wars are brewing among tribes, and remaining underground definitely is not a safe option. Resources and supplies are needed from the surface, and the surface is even more of a threat than the tunnels, not just for its toxic atmosphere or its monstrous inhabitants, but something else. Something that you, along with a considerable majority of Metro's population, would not believe, even if they witnessed it. Welcome to the Dead City. Known also as the City of Phantoms, this desolate town, featured in both Metro games, was once a thriving part of the Moscow community, full of energy and sound, some of which can still be felt, seen, and heard. Pulsing from this place is what can most accurately be described as a haunting, where phantoms of more than one variety do occupy the Metro universe and are even mentioned in the books. The Dead City is particularly unsettling for a few reasons. Upon exploring this area, you are met immediately with the sound of voices, laughter, crying, fear, flashes of lightning, looking at the corner of the peripherals of your character, or maybe just being in the right spot at the right time will briefly reveal black shades that resemble people. Some characters, such as Bourbon, are not believers in the supernatural and refer to such things as bullshit. But Khan, a fellow ranger and companion to Artyom, believes that the spirits were frozen in time the moment of the blast, infinitely trapped in their last moments, forever bound to what he calls atomized purgatory. These spirits have an eerie resemblance to blast shadows, the imprint of a human shadow after a nuclear explosion. They are mostly passive and non-violent, but certain kinds can be dangerous. None are the case in the Dead City. Perhaps that's a comforting thought. But imagine the disturbing presence of trapped souls, just wandering one city. According to the Little Dark One, a being from a presumably dead species, he is somehow connected to the spirits here. He says that he can somehow connect to the phantoms and feel what they feel. Because of Artyom's connection to the strange being, flashes of light followed by strange imagery will interrupt your exploration, revealing what could be a heartwarming or a heartbreaking scene, all of which being the last moments before the bombs fell. People playing music, having fun, having children, still laughing on the playground. Exploration of the Dead City will yield camps by past scavengers, the only traces of life evident by audio log recordings. On one of the recordings is a surface scavenger who is clearly unsettled by the town, and he even mentions a strange noise emitting from the distance, something like a roar or a crash. In the final entry by the same scavenger, he frantically states that their base is gone and that they are no longer safe. He then warns anyone who hears the noise to run in the opposite direction as fast as they can.
Today we heard a sound in the distance, like a roar or a crash. The silence is gone. My ears are still ringing, but death, I fear it is still close. This will be my final entry. Our base is gone. We're no longer safe here. You won't be either. We brought this on our world. If you hear the noise, you must run and save yourself.
In a separate recording, a team who was simply trying to make it through the city heard voices in surrounding areas, said that one of their team members went missing, and then finally ends the recording again fleeing the dead city. The third recording you find is a man who immediately says he feels like he's being watched. When I close my eyes, I almost see them, the recording goes. The dead linger here. They won't move on. At the end of the recording, he says that there is no point in running. He is convinced something is coming for him, and to the last moment, he is terrified that death is just behind the door.
The houses around here are in good condition, but overall it doesn't look promising. I can feel something watching from the shadows. Must be the rats in the walls. Still can't shake that feeling. When I close my eyes, I almost see them. The dead linger here. They won't move on. If no one ever hears this, it doesn't matter. There's no running. They're waiting for you. I think I'll be there as well. Oh, God.
Regardless of how long you stick around in the ruins, you will only leave with more questions. The closer you get to the end of the tunnel that leads to a glaring light, the louder the noise becomes, screeching to an abrupt and uncomfortable silence upon exit. The player leaves through a crypt, has one last startling look at the suffering spirits, shares some last words with the tiny dark one, and then presses on to continue the main adventure. But what were the men so afraid of? The animals surrounding the city are common among the surface, and the spirits in the town are completely benign, even in lore. Maybe the hysteria just got to their heads? Reasonable enough. The surface can kindle some pretty wild hallucinations. Could it be that the missing soldier was just a victim of a nearby demon? Maybe Bourbon was right, and it's just the mind playing tricks on people who spend too much time on the surface. Okay, well, I'm allured to ask another question. What the hell did we hear in that recording?